Hey guys, welcome back. Shanna here with Making Everyday Magic. Today, I just want to give you some tips for quitting homeschool. Before we go any further, guys, please scroll down, hit that big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. I am super proud of myself today. I tend to try to film on Fridays, and today I remembered to pause the laundry cycle so that you will not be hearing that in the background. Hoping that once we get our actual new washer and dryer, maybe someday ever, that it will not be as disruptive as it has been in the past. Now, I know that this is going to be a very unpopular opinion, but if you're gonna quit homeschooling, now is a great time to do it. I have said this a million times before. We choose homeschooling, and we have for the last 4 years, because it's the right choice for our family. Fortunate enough to have come into this with open eyes and making these decisions voluntarily. So many people this year have not been afforded the same opportunity. They're coming here out of health concerns. They're coming here out of educational concerns because your other option is a virtual learning environment that may not be best suited for your child. This has been a crazy year. 2020 has been just honestly unprecedented. So many people have flocked to homeschooling that it is natural and completely okay to be in a place now where you have decided that this maybe isn't the best fit for you long term. That's okay, guys. We do it. It's what's best for us. I want you to do what's best for you, for your family, and for your kids. So I am here, and I am going to give you the tips that I have for setting yourself up for the most success when you're quitting homeschooling. Guys, you know that I have been trying to answer your questions both in the comments and on the ends of these videos. So if you have a question that you would like me to answer, please head on over to Instagram. Send me a DM or scroll down and simply leave it in the comments. I'm doing my best to get back to each and every one of them, and I greatly appreciate your feedback. You guys have pointed me in some amazing directions as far as things to use, what to do, how to mom. It's been so helpful, and I greatly appreciate it. So moving right along into our tips to successfully quit homeschool. One of the things that I feel like is truly a lost art as far as being an adult, being a human, being anything, is knowing when to quit. It can be genuinely impossible to look at everything you've invested, time, money, effort, energy, and say, you know what? The best thing for me to do right now is to walk away. This is such an undervalued skill. It is genuinely sometimes the best solution to quit and walk away. That does not mean that you have failed. That means that you have successfully found out what does not work for you. And that, in and of itself, is incredibly valuable. You are at a place now, surely we are into December. You know now, you have whether or not you've decided to accept it, you know if this is your path for the medium, long term, and the long term. If it is not your path, if you are being honest with yourself and you know you are done, right now is a great time to quit. Right now, at the end of a semester, going into a new semester and a new year is a wonderful time for change. And there are many reasons. The first of which is that the end of the year is just kind of a natural time to reevaluate. My husband and I say that we reevaluate every 6 months. If this continues to be the right course for us, for our family, for our kids, then we will continue down this path. As of yet, that is the case. That may not be the case for you. The end of the year, the fresh start, especially this year, this is a great time to truly go over your feelings, go over your progress, chat it out with your kiddos, chat it out with your spouse, with your support system, and genuinely look and see if this is truly the best course for you going forward. If you know that it's not, now is a great time to switch for many reasons. One of which, a lot of schools had decided to virtual school through the end of the year and then be starting fresh come January. That's a great time of transition. It is hard for a kid to walk into a set schoolroom in the middle of a week. It is hard enough at the beginning of a year, but the next best time is at the beginning of a semester. It puts them on the same grading period as everyone else. It's a good time to do that. You are also much less likely to have to test into that grade if you're going in mid-grade level. So if you are deciding to do this and you're concerned about where your kiddos would place on an end-of-year exam, now could be the best time to go ahead and get them back into the school system if that's your path. It's the beginning of December, which is a great time. It gives you a few weeks before the schools close to get everything in place so that you can start fresh when schools go back at the beginning of January. This is a wonderful period of time for transition, especially if you're making such a large transition. I know we live right outside of Houston, and HISD is the largest school district in the state. They have reported that something like 46% of their students are failing at least one subject. That means across the board, you can tell that virtual learning is just maybe a bigger struggle than anyone had anticipated. So this is a great time to be going back in. I don't believe even going back in, even if you've had a truly unsuccessful fall semester, your kids are not going to be behind anybody else. Everyone is struggling the same this year, and so going back in at the start of this next semester could greatly serve your kiddo versus waiting until the summer if you do already know that this isn't the right course. Something else that could be of great benefit to you, I know here in Texas, they have suspended the standardized testing for this past year, 2019 and 2020, because it takes place in the spring and school wasn't really taking place. But there's also been a very large push from lawmakers here in our state to go ahead and cancel the testing for this coming year. So that is another great reason to go ahead and get your kiddos back in if that's your path, because they could very well have another year of grace when it comes to those standardized testing benchmarks that everyone's expected to meet. This could also be a great time mid-year to resell some of that curriculum that you purchased. Now, I'm not saying that it's been a waste of your money, but if you can recoup some of that money, now is a great time to do that because it's still in the current year for that curriculum. A lot of people have figured out what does and doesn't work for them, and they're already starting to source out those materials for the following year. So if you have chosen to either not continue with the curriculum or to not continue homeschooling in general, now is a great time to go ahead and start listing some of those things, because so many people are not finished with their edition. There won't be a super flooded, saturated market of secondhand homeschool supplies, and you could very really recoup a large amount of your costs that you took on when you decided to homeschool and purchase those materials. So mid-year is a great time to start listing those things for resale. Either, whether you're going to continue homeschooling or not, it's just a good time to start doing that. Now, if you are planning, if you do go through all of the steps, because like I said, it's December when I'm filming this, you can go ahead and start talking with your local school districts. Going ahead and doing the things that you know now in early December that will need to be done, finding out what needs to be done so that you can send your kiddos back to school in January. There may be testing. I find it kind of unlikely, but there may be other things that you need to do, update vaccinations, fill out paperwork, any of that stuff, any of that placement stuff is going to need to be done. And this should give you a couple of weeks to do that before the break for Christmas, so that if you know that you're going back to public school, you can start on some of that other important stuff. Maybe you need to go school clothes shopping. Maybe your kiddo needs a backpack. Maybe you need to get some of those supplies. Maybe it is as simple as getting everyone back on a school day routine. I know myself, we don't stick to that too hard, but we homeschool, so it's okay. But if you have a bell telling you when that hiney needs to be in a seat, I'm gonna recommend you get yourself back into that routine early. It is really important that you understand if you have chosen not to continue with homeschooling, that is okay. There is no shame in trying something and realizing it doesn't work. To be absolutely honest with you, this is the year where there is the most grace associated with that, where there is the least amount of consequence associated with that. You've done a great job. You've tried your hardest, and it just may not be for you. Or it just simply may not be for your kiddo. This end of year, end of semester is a great time to transition if you have chosen to go with a different schooling model. And that could be going from homeschool back to public school, or maybe you've chosen to officially pull the plug and go from public school to a homeschool model. Either way, it's the end of the year, it's the end of the semester, it is a great time to make a change. Now, some schools, you may need to get in there and really get talking with them about being sure that you're registered for school, registering for in-person or virtual, whatever they're choosing, making sure that you're getting on those transportation lists so that your kiddo can ride the bus if need be. There's a lot that goes into making these little decisions now, including don't forget to submit those daily health reports that are being required in so many places. So, I hope, guys, that you have found any of this helpful, entertaining, or informative. If you've decided that the best thing to do is quit, I commend you, because I know how hard it can be to quit something. So if you are doing that, please know that you are doing it with the most amount of information that you could possibly have, with some experience under your belt. And please know that certainly not I, and I hope no one here is going to fault you for making a change in the direction of a better environment or education for your family and your kiddo. So congratulations, you've tried it and you've learned something new. Please scroll down, hit that big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. Now, guys, I have been trying to answer your questions on the ends of these videos. Well, I had a question about what to use for Texas history. I did not know that so many other states also have state history, and that kind of makes me happy, but also, you know, I just thought it was us because we're so cool. But I have been recommended a fantastic curriculum that I'm looking more into and hope to be able to share with you later, but it looks like it just might perfectly fill that spot of state history. So hopefully I will have an update for you guys on that soon.